I really appreciate having Federal Ammo on as a sponsor for this show. They've been a great ammo company for a lot of years. They're really good about working with new media, which I feel like says that they are very on top of things and very with it for a company that has been around as long as they have. And they just have a wide range of selection when it comes to ammo. Everything from their Federal Champion brand, which is a really good, affordable ammo for practice at the range. They also have their American Eagle brand, which is a really good, middle-of-the-road, high-quality ball ammo, practice ammo, defense ammo, whatever you want to use it for. And then they also have really high-end defensive ammo and hunting ammo with premium bullet technologies and all the good stuff. So you got the full spectrum with Federal Ammo. They always seem to keep a lot of it in stock, and it's easy to find. Just a great company. Really happy to have them on as a sponsor and really appreciate them. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Gun Culture Radio. The sponsor for this podcast is SDI, Sonoran Desert Institute. You can check them out at sdi.edu. It's a really cool opportunity if you're interested in being a gunsmith. They have some other firearms technology degrees. Just check out their website. They do take GI Bill, so any veterans out there, it's a cool opportunity. You can't hate a job, in the gun industry. I assume a lot of people listening to this show are gun nuts just like me. It's cool to be able to have a job doing something that you love. Turning a hobby into a job is the true American dream. It's not 2 cars in every garage and a white picket fence. It's having a job that you love. That's the American dream right there, and that should be everyone's dream. That should be the human dream, not just the American dream. Anyways, check that out, sdi.edu. Really appreciate them for the sponsorship. This show is not cheap to make. So anyways, appreciate that and hope you guys enjoy the show. All right, we're back on the radio again, Gun Culture Radio, and I got a couple of comedians here this time again. Josh Lewis and what?
Hey, what's up? What's up, John?
and Joe Kelley.
Hello. Hey, John. Thanks for having me. Not too busy pointing at myself in the camera and winking, so I'll acknowledge you for saying hi to me.
They know everything they need to know about you from that.
Yeah, exactly. I was for the fans, the Legion of Lewis out there.
Oh, man. That was great. But yeah, so we shot a machine gun earlier.
Yeah.
And, I've been, telling people on the channel about that show that, that's been coming up and stuff. And so that's what we did. Yeah, we shot that show today. It was fun.
And it was expletive awesome because I can't say the word that I really want to say because it was that cool, man.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, I even like machine guns, fully automatics. That's not even something I get to shoot all the time just because they're really expensive, or like you got to be a guy that has all the right licenses and stuff to get them, so they're kind of rare. So, man, so much fun.
It was as soon as we were done and we went back out there to give it back, which I didn't really want to do. I just kept looking at all the other ones. Like people were talking like to me. I was talking to Joe a little bit and stuff, and I just kept looking into the distance and being like, well, I could probably shoot that one now. That one looks like fun. That one looks terrifying. I want to shoot it now. It was great.
Yeah, and they had that Uzi with the green Cerakote on it.
Oh yeah.
The Uzi was pretty cool.
What was the gun that we shot?
It's called a UMP-40.
UMP-40, and you said you don't get to shoot those a lot. Is it because did they work a special thing with you today because we were shooting, or is that something that somebody can go to the range and shoot anytime?
Yeah,
it's just not something you pick up often.
Yeah, that's something you can do anytime.
Okay.
That's part of why they have those there, is because most people, like 99% of gun guys or just anybody, you can't shoot a machine gun. Like you have to, to at least own one. So you have to go to a place where you can rent them to shoot them.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a legal thing. We were talking about it one day.
Yeah, I guess maybe we could go over now. It's fairly simple. So like at some point in the 30s, around, I'm not like a math lawyer guy, so there's people listening. I don't try not to get too details because they'll be like, no, actually, it was in,
I'll take care of the legal stuff.
Okay, all right. But in general, there was a point in the 30s, and it happened around the time that all this. That was a loud plane. Happened around the time. Was for everyone's going to crash on the house. Yeah. But there's a time in the 30s where all that like John Dillinger stuff was happening. You got like Babyface Nelson. There was a lot of gangs that were overpowering the police, robbing banks and doing all these different things. And then the mafia, like the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, had something to do with it. And that was like really big in the media. Like when you had a paper, when you look at your newspaper in the 30s, around that time, that's a lot of what you would see about is this stuff happening. So the government passed some laws. It's called the National Firearms Act, the NFA. So if you hear someone refer to an NFA weapon, NFA gun, they mean it kind of falls under that. So it has certain restrictions. So in the 30s is when all these restrictions were put on them. Now you could still buy them anywhere. You just had to go through a different process. You had to pay a tax, which at the time, it's still $200. At the time, that was a lot of money. So that tax was partly to try to keep it out of that. They thought to keep it out of the hands of criminals, but yet most of these criminals they just stole them from the National Guard. Like Bonnie and Clyde, they stole their guns from the National Guard. John Dillinger, they got some of their guns from police departments and all this stuff. So that happened in the 30s, right? So if you wanted anything that fall into the NFA, which is machine guns, rifles with a barrel under 16 inches, shotguns with a barrel under 18 inches, and those are the main ones. There might be some other ones, but those are the main ones. So that's how it was for a long time. And then in 1986, this is where it really screwed up trying to get a machine gun. In 1986, Reagan passed this thing. Forgot what they called it, but basically it made it so that no newly manufactured machine guns could be purchased by civilians, basically, right? So anything made anything made after 1986, you could only own it if you were a dealer or you're in law enforcement in the government somehow. So it created a huge demand for them because the supply was very limited, right? So any machine gun that like we could buy, it has to be older than 86. So there's like a finite number of them. So it makes them like incredibly expensive. So even the very most common fully automatics, they're like $4,000 or $5,000, $6,000. Guns like, like the really cool stuff, Thompsons, or like the Uzi, they're like $9,000. Thompsons can be $10,000, $15,000. If you want like a big machine gun, you're talking $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Even actually, I saw a minigun at Knob Creek for sale, $50,000.
So the price of like a luxury car,
right?
You could get a machine gun that you may or may not be able to find the right type of ammo for.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, especially if it's a really old one. So that's the deal with that. That's why they're hard to come by because they're so expensive if you want to buy one. Before, it was a hassle to go through the registration and stuff like that, but they cost the same as any other gun. It's just a matter of waiting until all that stuff comes through. So that 86 thing, it just made it. It didn't make it so that they were harder to get in a sense of like your background. It's the money thing, So that's really frustrating because the common man, you can't go buy a full auto anymore.
Yeah, it's like if the idea was to make the prices high, or to make it laws against them was to protect law enforcement from criminals. It's like the only people who have $9,000 to spend on a gun are like criminals or people who steal.
Yeah,
yeah,
or just really wealthy. Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of crazy, I don't like it when things are they try to limit things based on price. Like cigarette taxes. I don't smoke cigarettes, but I don't know, like really going to tax it to try to get people to quit and make it more expensive. I don't know. Stuff like that, I'm not a fan of.
I think that's a good argument, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. It's like just because it's more expensive, people don't quit because something becomes expensive.
Right.
They just find other way. Like, what don't I need? Well, now I don't need dental insurance because I need my cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly.
Or I need to get this by any means. What illegal thing can I do to get the money to get this other thing,
Right.
I don't think anybody's doing anything too illegal.
Free cigarettes for everybody. That's what we're saying today, guys.
Yeah,
Vote Joe Kelley.
Yeah. But that's why it's exciting to shoot a machine gun because they're real hard to get, unless you have a lot of money or you go through the paperwork, to become a dealer. And even that's very heavily controlled. The ATF can come to your house at any time. Even if you're a civilian, you own machine guns, they can come to your house anytime and see. And they asked it, like, I want to see them. And you have to present them all to them and all the paperwork and everything. So it's like very highly controlled and regulated, which is why it's like, to me, the cost aspect of it is unnecessary. Like I'll put up with the regulation, even if I don't like it. Yeah. So I can go out and if I want a fully automatic AR, whatever, I can save up and buy one for $1,500, but I'm not going to have $15,000 to buy one probably, so I don't know.
And if you did have $15,000 laying around,
would I buy a gun?
Yeah.
Right. Probably not. Yeah, so that's why it was fun, man. And of course, you guys never really shot machine guns. So.
No, that was the first. It was fun. I've shot rifles and pistols and all that, but just having something fire over and over again. It's like, it's Nate.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't know what other way to describe it. Like, and at first I felt uncomfortable, but you get, it's just because I've never done it before. And then it's like, okay, you just relax a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like I got comfortable quicker than I thought I would. Like I pulled that trigger a couple times and went, okay,
yeah,
I'm ready to own one of these.
Yeah.
It was awesome. It was like I said, like I was saying earlier, right after, it was a real treat. I was like, I know I'm not going to be able to do this very often.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like, I guess back in the day, whenever, you know, poor people barely got to eat cake or something, you know, stuff.
Machine guns are like cake for poor people.
Yep. Oh, Joe, $5.
No, you didn't catch me earlier.
Oh, you did?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Oh, yes.
That's fine. Maybe we just break even.
Yeah. You guys had a bet for who cusses first.
Yep.
Yeah. I should have let it slide. I could have lied.
You could. I didn't hear you. It's so natural after you're hanging around with a bunch of comedians and stuff all the time. It's like it just flows.
Being dirt bags. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I would apologize.
Responsible dirt bags, though.
Right.
Thank you.
By God.
I think humanity needs dirt bags, though.
Yeah. That's why we're here. Yeah. So we could shoot guns and have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Entertaining dirtbags.
Right.
I mean, we're dirtbags that are entertaining, not we're entertaining dirtbags. Let me go ahead and get the diction right on that.
Entertaining them like you invite them over to your house.
Don't even worry about wiping your feet, you dirtbags. I understand.
Sorry about there were such dirtbags. No, that's what I prefer.
It's the people I love to entertain.
Yeah.
Joe?
Yes, I agree. I was just thinking about the thing. I didn't realize that like a shooting range would be a bachelor party. Sort of thing. Like,
yeah.
But now after Lewis made the point that it's like a treat sort of thing, he goes, okay, that sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, you shoot guns and then you go to a strip club later, probably.
Yeah, I mean,
what a great day that would be.
That would be. Yeah.
Testosterone on top of testosterone,
It's so
man.
fun.
That is cool. That is a lot of fun.
That would be a pretty cool day, I have to admit.
But I don't know. Is that like,
I was trying to think of something to top it off, but I couldn't.
is that like a common thing? Because
I've
you've
never
been to
seen
the
it
range
before.
more than, and they had like, and they said they were gonna have like 4 tomorrow or
Yeah.
something like that. Like it's
Was
a
it like
thing.
marriage season or something? I don't know.
It's like I better get all this shooting out of me now.
It seemed like none of them had really shot before either. That's one thing. They seemed like very low experience, and there was like a bunch of them.
Yeah.
It might have been.
And that made me nervous a little bit at first, just like
Yeah.
having a big group of people just around in general. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, luckily, like indoor ranges are set up really smart. Just the way they have to where, you know, you can't have too many people into one spot. You know, anyways, and then also those dividers are actually bulletproof. So somebody pulls a real retarded move and what's it? And bam, you know, shoots next to you, like, you know,
Like I almost did. Like whenever I was
No,
turning
you
around to
didn't.
tell you guys stuff, like this was fun, like just swinging a gun around.
No, you didn't. You didn't. I was just It was still in the safe direction. But I just wanted to say something because
Yeah.
you know, just in
Smart
case you-
move, by the way, because you give me an inch, I'll take a mile on that. I'd be like, anyway, guys.
Yeah, but that is something you have to watch out for. It's like they call that, you know, muzzle discipline. You have to constantly be aware of where that barrel is pointed, because that's the only thing that's going to hurt you. So as long as it's pointed in a safe direction, that's the whole thing with like there's 4 basic rules of gun safety. So I can remember what they are. I'm not sure what they are, but I know that they're really good. No,
they're there.
yeah, like one of them is always. One of them is treat all guns as if they are loaded. That's one that it requires a little interpretation. I'll get back to it in a second. And then there's never put your. I think because different people have different. Okay, I'm gonna look them up. Because like different people say different ones. Okay, you know what? Just so I don't lose all my credibility, I'm going to go and say and go through them. I'm sure that I know them. It's just they're not going to be exact. So the basic was treat all guns if they're loaded. Never put your finger on the trigger until your sights are on the target, like what you're about to shoot. So don't put your finger on the trigger until you're about to shoot at something. And then there's one. Always be aware of your backstop, and then don't. Point the gun at anything that you're not willing to destroy. All right, let me look them up and see how close
That's
that was.
the most
good one.
metal one. The last
Yeah.
one is
And the cool thing about them is and they're kind of set up to where if you forget one, another one's going to save you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, let's say you had your finger on the trigger and you weren't pointed at something that you planned on shooting at, but you didn't have the barrel pointed at something that you couldn't be okay with destroying. Like, for example, if I was dry firing a gun or something like that and I didn't realize I had a load of mag in it and accidentally loaded it and I pulled the trigger at the floor, no one's going to die. It's just going to be real loud and startling, and there's going to be a hole through my floor, right? Because there's nobody down there. So you don't ever point a gun at something or someone that, that it could hurt. So if a gun goes off, you have an accidental discharge, it's just, you just look like a basically. That's it. And I've never had one, but I've been around people who have had them. And oh my God, talk about, you look like a huge idiot. And talk about a surprise. I remember I was hanging out with some friends of mine, and I had this 1911. I just got it, and a friend of mine was looking at it, and he went over and picked it up, and we were outside, luckily, and I heard him pull the slide back, and I've just been around guns long enough. I was like, that sounded like he just racked a round in, because it has a little different sound, more of a ka-chunk, than just a slide. And I was like, he surely he knew that, he noticed that, and he's gonna take the mag out. And then, like, right as I thought that thought, bow, and it was just like everything kind of freezes for a second. Okay, what just happened? Is everyone okay? And it's like, and then you like come back and you're like, all right, it's fine. He just shot a plastic chair, and then, so. Okay, all guns are always loaded. Never point the gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. Keep your finger off the trigger till your sight's on the target. Be sure of your target and what's beyond it. So. Pretty much.
Yeah,
pretty much what I said.
Yeah. Different wording, but the same mission.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, I don't know why we got off on that tangent.
Talking about guns.
Yeah.
Guns. What was the backstop at the range made out of? Is that just concrete back there, or is there like some sort of
that we were shooting into?
Padding so it doesn't ricochet?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly because different ones use different stuff. A lot of times they'll use like chips from old tires and just like a huge wall, like giant, like thick area of rubber. Okay. And it just slows down the bullets. It looked like they had steel on the top so that anything that went high, it would kind of glance down. And they had some kind of material back there. That's a really like hot shot range. Like they put millions into that range. So that's probably some kind of special material that they've got back there.
That range has only been open for what, 4 years?
Just a few years, yeah. Nashville Armory, it's a really nice one.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. I remember whenever it opened up, there was all kinds of commercials on the radio and stuff about it being state of the art and all this stuff. Yeah. And then after going there a couple times, I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's any place I can rent them.
I like them, like that shop. And one thing from my perspective that's kind of nice about that shop is they actually advertise. That's one of the things that for a long time that's frustrated me, and it's getting better, is that a lot of people look at gun people like some kind of, redneck militia dude. And there are those people out there, but they think of like everyone who shoots guns like that. And you see the billboard and stuff around, you can't help but be like, oh yeah, that's a thing that people do. It's not like, there's just been this idea for a long time that the NRA definitely has some problems, but that the NRA and their supporters are like this really fringe group. It's just like a bunch of racist wackos. And it's just not the case, but there are some for sure.
Yeah, it makes it seem like it's like an underground thing if you don't want to advertise, like you're ashamed almost.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just don't want a lot of people knowing about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because of the stigmas that do come with it.
Right.
You're saying like all of a sudden you're a nut now because you want to shoot a machine gun, which is a very fun activity.
It's fun, yeah.
Whenever it's done safe and I'm not killing anybody.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Right.
If somebody was like, you want to come out back and shoot my machine gun at this old car, I might go, who are you?
First of all, who are you? Can you give me the 4 gun safety rules?
But that was great. Like, just was nervous at first, but just felt comfortable immediately.
Another cool thing about being there is there was such a wide range of just different people. Like I saw a dude wearing a business suit pretty much.
Yeah.
And then there was a pregnant lady, and then there was a bachelor party.
Yeah.
And there was all kinds of stuff, like kids, and everybody was just getting along. Nobody was like, like creepy, like just holding like onto their guns and staring, like some of the stigma that you might think before you go to a place if you're not a big gun person, And, I grew up around guns. I grew up around a bunch of rednecks and stuff. So we were just shooting guns constantly, and there was no safety. by the way. There was just shooting
Yeah.
everything, It's like, you know, with that beer can, as a child, just throw that beer can and we'll just shoot at it until it disintegrates, which is fun.
Yeah.
Not safe at all.
Yeah.
And then you walk in there and, like I said, there's a dude in a business suit, and there's like a young dude that like looked like he was playing sports or something, like he was like in athletic gear, and he was like, I'm ready to shoot my gun, and it was and it was cool, and then everybody got along, and it seemed very safe. I really enjoy it. I would definitely be back.
Yeah, that's cool, and it didn't used to be like that. Like, this is a recent thing. That's what's interesting, is it really ironically, when Obama got elected, it propelled the gun industry and world and culture. It quadrupled it in size. It used to be, when I was a kid, there'd be like a few gun shops around. They were small, and they were more and more of your stereotypical, some crusty old guy in there, that just like, man, like someone like me walked in there, or you, like, you'd be fine, but like, I mean, he'd about kick you out. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that, just like what you think. Not as bad as you might think, but almost like that. And they weren't all like that, but there was a lot of that. And now it's like everybody's into guns, moms and,
Oh, that's another thing.
Everybody.
A lady that looked like that you could very easily stereotype as a soccer mom,
right,
was in there shooting what looked to be like a 45. Like, it looked like it had a lot of kick to it, and she was holding her own.
Yeah.
Bam, bam. I was like, wow, man. I was like, that makes me feel very emasculated. I was like, I'm totally cool with it, but I was like, I could guarantee I could not hold that gun that well.
It's comfortable.
You could do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it took me a little while. It took me a lot of soccer mom time to get up there, because she had it, man.
Yeah,
she was holding that thing like Charles Bronson in Death Wish.
It's just fun because, like, if you're at Kroger and something goes down, like, she's going to be the one who's like, I got it, guys. Let me take care of this for you.
She puts me behind
what
her.
What do I do?
Yeah.
She just scoops us back. Like,
she does the arm bar,
that pulls out that 45.
Oh, that would feel terrible.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I was like, you see that and you go, and I know that men and women are equals in a lot of aspects. I'm not talking bad. I'm just saying, as a man, it always, whenever you see a woman that's doing something way more manly than you can, you just automatically go, oh man.
Yeah, I know.
Like, oh, I wish I was tougher.
Yeah.
And she was like, you can be, but not as tough as me. Well, kabam, kabam.
We're all equal. Let me just say that real quick. Everybody's equal.
I sound like I wouldn't believe that or ever say that.
But I don't like it when women do things better than me. I'm just saying.
No,
I don't mean anything by it.
I'm fine with it. I'm just saying it demasculates me a little bit.
We're all equal. I just don't like it when it's rubbed in my face.
Yeah, exactly.
Saving my life? I don't think so.
I think it'd be okay if she saved my life. I thought it'd be like, okay, I get it.
Get over it. Yeah,
I just wouldn't want to do the interview when the news came.
Oh,
I would be like, and then my mom pushed me behind her and started shooting everybody. I could have done it if I was ready,
Yeah. Oh man. It's funny though. I'm not actually used to indoor ranges because I shoot outside all the time at my parents' place.
Yeah.
And it does take a little getting used to, but I could see how it almost be good training or practice. Used to hearing other like gunfire or whatever.
Yeah.
'Cause that's kind of how it would be if you're in like some kind of battle or something. There'd be all kinds of gunfire and stuff around you. Because it kind of throws you off. Like if you're shooting and all of a sudden, like that dude had the AK, that was like super loud. That was next to us for a little while. It throws you off for a little bit.
It really was. And not only that, like where we were filming and stuff, of course, we were like focused in on each other. And then we would stop for a minute, like, reload the magazines, and you would just hear like, bam, bam, bam. And every time I know one of us had to be like, just flinch a little bit,
Yeah.
After a second, it is like, I thought with the people shooting, when I first walked in, it was like loud. And then, but as it just kept going on, it was like, this is just something that happens.
Became background noise.
Yeah, and especially when you're shooting, because I think if like you were outside and kind of alone, I feel like hearing your own shots would maybe make you jump if you don't shoot. Like for me, I feel like I might be more jumpy going, this thing, what's it going to do? But with everybody else, it goes, oh, I know what's going to happen. I know what it's going to sound like. So it's
continuous.
Yeah, where we had to walk through that one stall, I guess where everybody was shooting handguns. I don't know how it works exactly.
That was the handgun part of it.
Okay, yeah. So I noticed everybody was shooting handguns there, soccer moms and stuff. And then you go on down and everybody was shooting rifles and things like that. It's like to shoot a rifle, you had to get ready. Like, and you hear like the bam, bam, bam. It's like it just washes over you, evens out your nerves by the time you get in there. And then that AK went off, and I was like, oh, still jumpy.
Yeah. somebody had some kind of handgun that was really loud as we were walking through there.
Yeah,
like 44 Magnum or something, 500 Magnum, something huge. Actually, when you're outside, it's funny when you're actually firing the gun yourself outside, the gun doesn't seem as loud for some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. What'll get you is if it's a gun that's really loud and you're out there and there is nobody else shooting and like your buddy is shooting and you're just waiting and you don't know when he's going to shoot. And if it's a really loud gun, that'll make you kind of jump because you'll kind of be like, I think he's about to shoot and oh, there it was, Or like, when I'm filming and stuff and we're doing the reviews, some guns, especially if it's a really hot cartridge, like a big 308 or something like that, they'll have these muzzle brakes on the end of the barrel that helps reduce the recoil, but it kind of intensifies the energy that's coming out of the barrel, so it creates this huge like concussive force just in like a bubble around the gun. When you're shooting it, it kind of comes out almost in like a V shape. So when you're actually firing the gun, you don't notice it as bad because you kind of miss it. But when I'm filming, I'm like right in it. So I'm trying to hold a camera steady and then bow, and I'm just like bow, and I'm just like trying to like hold it together. Sometimes it's hard, but it's fun though. Like I said, it shakes up the old brain.
Gets the juices flowing upstairs.
Exactly. Cleans out your sinuses.
Well, that's one thing I also forgot. Like you're just handling all that stuff, and you get the powder. I'm not sure what it's called. The metal residue.
Yeah, a lot of that comes from the magazine and loading.
Yeah, and I just wasn't paying attention. I was wiping my face and stuff. I was just getting it all over me. I think I got it in my mouth. I was just like, just doing my normal my nervous routine of wiping my face off.
Yeah, now you're going to have lead poisoning.
Yeah. Now I got this tumor. Yeah. Bang.
That's apparently, I've heard that's a thing. Like you want to wash your hands, like whatever, mess with guns. But I mean, I've been messing with my whole life. I mean, I always try to do that, but I've never had lead poisoning or anything.
Yeah.
So it's not,
people are always trying to tell you to wash your hands, and I don't buy into it much. I know when I need to wash my hands. You don't need to tell me. Yeah. That's just how I feel about the whole washing your hands subject.
Yeah.
I know better than you when my hands are dirty. Okay? Other than that, back off.
You should see Joe use a public restroom and he just sees that employees must wash hands. His just face gets real red.
Just tears it down. Yeah.
It's not, you don't really have to abide by those signs anyway.
You don't?
No one's checking on you. I mean... Is the FDA going to come in and go, did you wash? They're going to scrape your hands and tell if they washed it or not?
Scrape your hands?
Yeah. How are they going to know if you don't wash your hands? That's all I'm saying.
Check the humidity level.
Well, they could smell like soap, for instance.
Well,
you're not, unless you get like some soap lotion, which that's just, you might as well just wash your hands.
They're just going to smell like the food that I'm cooking.
Yeah. You're a little close to the microphone there.
Sorry.
Clipping a little.
Oh, too close.
Yeah, a little too close.
I'm shouting. That
There
could
you
be
go.
why.
It's his passion.
Getting real
Just
excited.
Getting all that passion coming through.
Yeah.
Sorry. Well,
It's all good.
I'll stop talking now. Y'all have fun.
I like that Lewis still has his signature microphone spot even on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. I love this. It's like no effort, just.
Yeah, right under your chin.
Yeah, this is how.
You could just have a microphone just permanently just implanted over there.
I know if I could teach a class on how to hold a microphone for stand-up comedians, just hold it at the bottom, let it rest right there on your chin, and it picks up.
Yeah.
You don't even have to really project your voice.
Do you wash your chin before you do that?
I wash the microphone actually.
Yeah. I hate that when you see somebody, they're kind of putting their mouth on the microphone and you're like, I got to go up after this guy.
Yeah. That's the ones that get me the most. There's a few comedians, especially at the open mics, whenever, you're just passing that through just a germ pit. You're just like, here you go, everybody, swab it out. And then you have to go up next to the guy that not only you can see his spit just cascade out of his mouth through the lights. Yeah. And then you just notice that microphone is he's following my rules of holding it close to his mouth and it's just dripping on there. And especially, I love it whenever there's like one of these like I'm not sure what this thing's called, like a windsock or whatever.
Windscreen.
Windscreen.
Yeah.
Windsock.
That's
When somebody's putting their windsock out there on their front porch, see where the wind's blowing, when your granny's doing that, then she goes, I better get this for the mic.
The windsock. Yeah.
But the windscreen.
Dude, you should make, that's a good product.
Windsock. Introducing Windsock. Are you tired of not knowing which way the wind's blowing by just being a human being standing out in the wind?
I don't know. East, west.
Someone should hang up a sock.
Somebody should just get an overgrown sock. What was I even talking? Oh, yeah. Whenever you go up after certain comics and this windscreen's on there and everybody's been drunk, and you just get up there and you just put it up to your mouth and it just smells like just
stale beer.
Oh, stale beer and just pouring beer and liquor and it's cigarette smoke and you're like, hey, everybody. That's good. Yeah. Smells like comedy. Did like 5 voices in that diatribe. I'm sorry, guys.
I liked it. I liked the last one. I probably get my beard hair stuck in it. Probably happens.
And just have long hair. Hey, everybody, just keeps tickling your nose.
Yeah. Or tickling your chin in your case.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, everybody, it's just.
What is that? Who went up before me?
He's developing a new character.
Yeah. I remember I told this story when Monty Mitchell was on the podcast about that dude that showed up that was coloring, and all that. I remember I think it might have been the second week when he actually came back and it was the second week he came back and got up on stage. Were you there?
Before the show started, yeah. He walked. He bumped right into my back.
Yeah, it was me and you talking to
we
each
were
other.
standing right there. We're like, what? That guy's got to go, I guess. And he walked up on stage.
Well, for the people that didn't hear that story, basically in a nutshell, there was a crazy guy that showed up and like disrupted a show, and it became this big scene, and he was just spouting all kinds of nonsense. And then it came back the second time, but I remember he did that. He got like real close to the microphone, like almost like making out with it. And then I think it was I'm not about to say his name or not, but I don't know. He's got stuff on YouTube. Edgar Flores.
He quit it. He retired. It doesn't matter. He's out of the game.
I think he would love for us to be talking to him. We're talking about him. We're talking to him.
Yeah, he's a comedian in Nashville for a while. But I remember he went up soon after. He might have been first or something. I remember he was trying to like change microphones with Gary, the drummer up there. So.
Oh yeah, that was.
That wasn't a good story, but
I know it's not a bad story.
Dirty microphones.
That's basically, I'm the one that started this. I'm sorry.
I've never smelled the microphone smell bad. I don't know. Like
I've smelled it after a couple drunk people. Like I can't even tell you who the comics were or if they, how open mics roll. Just anybody can do it. So occasionally just get the person that goes, I think I'm drunk enough to finally do what I've been dreaming to do. And, I've had to follow that. And I followed a certain comic that a lot of us know, and he's really big into smoking things.
Oh.
And I followed him before, and I was like, whoa. Because I'm probably over-exaggerating the way the microphone smells like beer and stuff like that, but you can smell it kind of faintly. This you could not smell faintly. Like, I was walking up to the microphone being like, man, somebody right here on stage? Did they just drop it up here? And I walked up, and I was like, nope, it's in the mic. This guy has... I can say certain things, right?
Right.
This guy's so stoned that it's just like permeating into the mic.
They're just telling the story. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay,
You could say certain things, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to just jump on here and be like, well,
he likes to smoke stuff.
certain stuff.
At least you weren't vague about it.
Yeah. Use your imagination, kids.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, mics are fun, though.
Oh, yeah. I always have a good time.
Yeah. That's always something.
Always?
Well,
90% of the time.
Okay.
Yeah. It's always something. It's always something interesting, though.
They're fun. That's where you cut your teeth, man.
Yeah,
that's where you got to do it.
It is. And I feel like a lot of people. I don't know if anybody listening is thinking about getting into comedy. It's like I think most people I think aren't prepared for how much time it takes and the commitment. I think it's easy to come out a few times and be like, yeah, this is cool or whatever. And then you realize, wait a minute, this is just, I'm going to have to do this like all the time.
Yeah.
You know? And
where's the Comedy Central special?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like 10 years down the road.
I think it was almost a blessing that I was so bad at first that I had no expectations. I just knew that the bug had bit me and I was going to be doing it for a while, you know? So I wasn't like like there's certain people that just are naturals to it. Like to me, it took me forever to figure out how to hold the microphone. So
now you're teaching classes.
Now I'm teaching classes. Now I'm just like, now I'm doling out the wisdom.
I know. I did that thing, the classic rookie mistake where you're gesturing with your hand. You're like, so guys, and then your like voice is cutting out. And,
It's this number. So the other day I was, you know, and that's how my dad is. And that's who I look like. And everybody, what the?
I always love it when, and we were talking about this the other night, is like when you see like a really pro comic, they'll have a bit where they're like away from the microphone and they'll like adjust the volume of their voice and it like fits perfectly.
Yep. Years of experience. I can't figure that part
Trial and error.
Yeah, there's
Just
that
got to
too.
figure it out.
Yeah.
It's like I want to yell, but the microphone makes me louder already. So you got to find that distance.
Now, there's so many people that don't know how to do that. I know, been doing comedy a lot longer than I have not figured out that you don't have to scream into one of these things.
I feel like some people think yelling means energy. If you're yelling, I'm giving you energy. Yeah. And it's like, no, you're just pissing everybody off.
Yeah.
You're sucking the energy out of everything.
Especially when they clip the mic really bad.
Yeah.
Someone yells. And especially when it's somebody new. That's when it really annoys you, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you go up there and yell, like Joe's yelling, you know, it's like,
I'll let you know I'm going to yell.
This is going to end in a tirade scream.
Yeah.
If you're not laughing, I'm yelling. That's my motto.
Someone's making some noise tonight.
Yeah. I'm going to fill the air.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to. Sometimes you got to get in their face a little bit and rattle them up.
Yeah.
The audience, that is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who do you just think I was talking
I'm
about?
not real sure.
That's what I meant.
Person putting on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. You run a better show next time.
Yeah. Now pay me.
Yeah.
Pay me for about 4 minutes, please.
Sir, this is an open mic. I know.
I'm here, though.
I'm pro.
It's fun, though. That's the thing that's cool about comedy. It feels like it's always an adventure of some kind, you know?
Yeah. It's never... Like, we go to Bobby's every Monday, or we can go to the East Room. It's like, we're back here at the East Room on the Tuesday, but it's always a different Tuesday, though.
Right.
Whereas with, like, for me, when I was working at the radio station, when I was in an office, like every Monday there was going to be no difference in the Monday ever. It was always the same. And it's like, there's the same routine for a Tuesday with comedy and going to the East Room, but it's always different. And it's fun. Yeah. Everyone's got different conversation most of the time.
Different crowd,
different jokes most of the time.
Yeah.
People are working, they're coming out with new jokes every week, and that's always a treat. Like, that's like, oh, you're doing that for us.
Yeah.
Because really you have to do it for the audience, for your friends and stuff. Because if not, you'll make more friends if you come out with new material every week, even if it's not good, than people that do the same good 5 minutes every week at open mics. If people just get annoyed with you.
Yeah. Because it does. It makes you go,
here we go. Yeah, we get it. We know it's good. Like, what do you want from us now?
Right.
Like, how is this? How are you changing anything? What are you learning from this? It's like nothing. It's like you got
to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You got to take it down different avenues and paths. I mean, that's the only way you're going to expand it.
Yeah.
Or get it better, or at least know where it can go.
Right.
Yeah.
Is by doing that. But
you got to eat a bunch of turds. You just have to. You just got to eat it up and then figure out a way to like it. And then go, okay, this is keep coming back.
Yeah.
It's also one of those weird things is even though I was terrible at first, and I can't say that I'm great now, but just awful at first. Like, I'm glad that it's not recorded anywhere. If it was recorded somewhere, I would be like, that would be the one time that I would want to assassinate somebody. I'd be like, if you put that out, I'm going to send somebody after you. But where was I going with that?
Something about,
I don't know.
Sorry, I got to assassinate, and I was like,
yeah. And I thought of a joke that I can't say.
no, I don't know. Open mics are all right, I guess. Man, I hate when I do that.
We're talking about new material and trying to do.
Oh, yeah. Taking it down different paths and stuff like that. If you come out there and you know it's working, and then just save it for another time. Save it for a book show or something like that. Don't come out there like it's like a big celebrity show every time. Of course, you got to treat it like that at first. The first couple of years, you got to kind of treat your open mics like I may get
that is
picked
your show.
For exactly. Yeah. I may get picked for a book show, so I should do my best every time. Not saying you don't ever not do your best, but go up there and try different stuff. Know where you stand, because you kind of change, you kind of evolve while you're doing it. You know, maybe you're not your mind itself, but at least the way you tell jokes, the way you deliver them, you learn how to take it down different paths and stuff. Should always try new stuff, and that's what an open mic's for. And that's sometimes what people forget whenever they come up there and they try to impress a whole room. Right. Instead, if you have to read out of a notebook of just thoughts and ideas that you don't know where they're going, just do that. Yeah. But try to make them funny, obviously.
Right.
But you'll get the same reaction out of telling that new premises you have with no jokes that you will if you tell us the good 5 minutes you've been doing for 3 months. You're going to get this from other comics, whether or not it's a different audience if you're doing that, if you're playing that open mic. But as far as like the consistent open mic comics in the audience, it's like we're not going to like it either way, even if it's good. So just do new stuff.
Go and laugh at the same joke so many times.
You might catch us off guard.
And not only that, like a lot of times
people
we'll also just be in our heads so much about what we're going to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like I miss so many of my friends' good sets, because I'm going up 5 or 6 spots after them. And I'm just sitting there going, okay, I gotta get the pacing of this, gotta remember to say this there. And then I'll hear people clap for them, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll miss like so much stuff, Yeah.
I do that too, especially if I start hearing something that I've heard, I go, I know this set. It's like done. I can work on other things now. Yeah. Rather go, what you talking about? It's just, but that's from us. What do we know? It's just coming from our point of view. If you want to do the same set forever, do it. It's fine. I don't care what anybody does.
Guarantee you there's a big name comic out there right now whose ear just started twitching.
Yeah.
Just being like,
that's not how you do it.
Yeah. You're like, wait a minute. There's a great disturbance around here.
Yeah. The hard part, I've only been doing this for a few months, especially really early on. It's so hard to write material. And that was the thing I learned really early on. It's just like, wow, it's like I've got to generate so much material, so it's like you're supposed to get on stage a lot. So I want to come out to these open mics, but I'm going to look like if I'm only doing the same jokes, but I can only write them so fast. Yeah. It's like that was a dilemma I was dealing with for a very long time. So it's nice. It's like I feel like I'm just now getting to the point where I'm sort of learning how to write jokes, and I've been doing it long enough to where if I don't have enough new stuff, I'll throw in something old that at least I haven't done for a while or something,
and mix it up. And I think I know I went through the same phase too, where it was like, you do that first set, and then your second set, maybe you have a new joke, probably not. So then it's like the same set, and then after 3 or 4 months, all of a sudden it's like, okay, now I got like 4 new jokes. And then 2 old ones I can go back to if I feel like it or if I feel uncomfortable. And then it's like, and it gets to the point where it's like, I'll just talk. I don't even care if there's any jokes here. I'll just stare at your dead faces and talk. I don't care.
One of my favorite things to do with jokes, especially whenever you've done them for a little while and they're not necessarily tried or true, but you've got some laughs off of them here and there, is to try to rethink the punchlines or try to rethink the setup. Just write and be like, what would somebody that I hate, how would they put this, you know, and just write. And even if you don't bring it to stage, it's a good writing exercise to just get your mind thinking down so many different paths.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm trying to think. I saw it somewhere years ago. It was somebody that wrote by taking the main idea and making a circle and then drawing lines off of it and showing where it could go.
Oh, like the web.
Yeah, almost like a web or
whatever
something.
That thing is called. We used to do that in school where you have like the main idea and then offshoots, and then you take offshoots
called?
from everything.
Yeah.
There's a term for it. I just had it on my substitute test, and I can't remember.
Joe's going to shape some youth of America like that.
Yeah.
Kids, think of something y'all think's funny, like pooping and stuff. Draw a circle around your poop. Branch it out. And the kid will be like, are you a teacher?
Are we going to need this later?
Yeah, is this going to be on a test?
You just bring that back tomorrow.
You just save that for whenever Mr. Kelley comes back to class. I want to see. Just start stealing jokes off kindergartners.
Yeah, there you go.
I would do that.
Y'all know about nap time, right? Y'all like them cookies and Kool-Aid? Wish they put some more sugar in it. Y'all know what I'm saying.
That's the real reason you want to be a substitute teacher. There's a bunch of material, right?
I think so. I think there'd be a ton, ideally.
You will. I'm sure you'll get material out of that.
Watching stuff.
Different experiences and
horrible
stuff.
thoughts.
Or you could just, I've been seeing a lot of teachers get beat up by kids.
Yeah, I've seen that too. That's a concern of mine too, but not really. I feel like those teachers probably had it coming.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Probably had it coming.
They probably get a little mouthy.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Teachers, man, they got it coming. You heard it here first.
I'm sure
they all got it coming.
you can't be telling people what to do all the time.
Yep.
What do you think you are, my boss, my teacher? Try to reshape me?
Better chill out, buddy. Get a knuckle sandwich.
Wait, are you the student?
I was the student that time.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I was a student. That's why I use that clean language. He's not allowed to curse
Knuckle
yet.
sandwich. But if you were a kid, you just start expletive.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was telling Joe earlier to remember that books are bulletproof. So
He did tell me that, and that was a value. I went home and told my girlfriend about it. I was like, "I'll let you know that hey, books are bulletproof."
Yeah.
I've watched at least 4 movies where somebody has stopped a bullet with a book.
I mean, it is kind of a general statement. I mean, if it's a thin enough book and a big enough bullet, like,
What John said.
Joe is out here swatting bullets with leaflets.
it's like the program from like some kind of play, a school play,
It's not working.
like 4 pages.
Joe's like, why is it Joe in ICU? Well, books are bulletproof. And they're
Books are bulletproof, and John Hickok is a liar.
But I've shot a lot of books. So, my dad used to work for a publishing company, and I remember I was a kid, and he did all that before I was born. But when I was a kid, we had all these medical textbooks. He had them up in the attic, just boxes and boxes of them. So a lot of times we'd get those out and shoot them and stuff. And I
I thought this was going to go completely different. I don't know why. I was like, and you learned anatomy and things?
No. We shot them.
Shot him with a rifle.
Yeah, and I was always amazed by like how it wouldn't penetrate very far, in the book. And I think it has something to do with, where you have all that paper. It's like bullets will actually travel through wood, most wood, unless there's some kind of ultra hard wood I'm not aware of, through most wood a lot easier than it will a book. Something about where you have those individual pages, maybe it's like a lot more dense than wood, I guess. I don't know. Or something about it. But like for example, like a book that's like that thick will stop a lot of bullets. I would say, go on a limb and say most bullets would be stopped by a book about that thick. But if you had a piece of wood like that, most stuff will go through it. So I'm not sure why that is. Maybe someone listening will know, but I don't know.
See Joe going to this school just like with a bunch of books duct taped all over his chest. Like, hello, kids.
Yeah.
Save.
Mr. Kelley's awful square and blocky.
My senior year, my buddy, he got like whatever history class we had to take that year. He got his book that had like a, it wasn't a bullet hole through it, but it was like somebody had shot the cover with a book or had shot it with a gun, and then they were still using it. So it's like that. They're pretty. I guess they are pretty durable.
Tell everybody where you're from, Joe.
I'm from Flint, Michigan. Why? Why is that so bad?
I don't know why. I mean, considering
funny?
Nobody can drink water there.
Yeah, they can.
And
Get
it'd
a
be
well.
like, hey,
Get a well. You should. Well, the people drink water still. They got wells. Use the
you
water.
can't just dig a well.
And they ship it there.
That's true. Yeah.
That's
plastic
right.
bottles.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah, Beyonce helped out a whole lot. Thank you, Beyonce. One love, baby. I think Prince might have helped out.
Well, I'm just
too.
saying,
Taylor
where you're
Swift.
from, there is undrinkable water, and nobody thought it was weird to recirculate a book with a bullet hole in it.
No, it's an interesting place to live.
That's all I was saying. I was just,
Okay, then yeah.
I wasn't down in Flint, Michigan. I haven't been there, and I've met one person, and I like him.
I'm pretty decent.
Oh, it's you.
I do okay.
Yeah,
I got Michael Moore and Fago.
Michael Moore?
Michael Moore.
And
yeah.
Fago?
Fago.
The drink?
Yeah.
Huh.
Michael Moore is technically from Davison. So if you go back to Flint and start spouting off about Michael Moore and being from there, you might get punched in the mouth. People don't play that.
He's like, I'm just going to go to Flint, Michigan.
He might get punched in the mouth just mentioning Michael Moore on this show.
Oh no, I don't. Listen, I don't. I think he's a goon, guys. I think he's a goon. Don't hold it against me. JoeKelleyComedy.com. Thank you.
Thank God this is live.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of militias in Michigan. I know that.
Yeah, it's a very big thing. My dad's side of the family is like they're very much, I guess, into guns might be a way to put it. Like everyone's got these big metal cabinets that are just filled with guns, like big hunting sort of family. My cousins and stuff are kind of jackasses about guns and stuff. Went up north, then they wanted to combine beer with guns. Then people were shooting 2 shotguns, one in each hand, and the barrels are digging in the dirt. And I'm going, I gotta go. But as far as my dad goes, they've always been pretty like responsible in hunting.
I feel
and
like we may have the same family.
We might, except for the part where I said my dad.
Oh yeah. Oh, ow. That is. I was talking about the cousin side.
Oh, I thought, well,
whichever. Don't matter.
I don't even like to hunt anymore.
So you did go hunting. You did grow up hunting a little bit?
I got a scar between my eyes from when I shot a rifle and it bucked back and the scope just split me open right between the forehead.
Did you get that deer though?
This was a deer that was just shooting at a hood of a car at my uncle's pond. Just a little target, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I shot a deer, but I was just so bored. I was like 15, just sitting out in the woods, and I shot the deer, and I thought it was over. Like I thought we won, we get to leave and be done. But it's like no. Then my dad had to go back out, and then
you got to track it and everything.
Well, it didn't take that long.
Okay.
I think I hit it in the chest and blew like the main arteries from the heart. So the heart was still intact, but it was like loose in the chest. It was real weird when we cut it open.
Yeah.
It's very neat. But then we took it back to his place, hung it up in the shed, and we're like, okay.
Wait, you didn't gut it right there? You didn't?
No, we gutted it there, but you still like lay it so all the blood can drip out.
Don't you have to? Isn't there something you have to? Because I've never really hunted like that. Isn't there something you have to cut? Like first or something, or the meat will get ruined or something.
Well, there's a stink bag in there, and if you hit it, and I'm not sure, I guess it's like a gallbladder or something.
Is that the technical term, stink bag?
That's what they always called it. Seriously, they'd be like, "Bob, be careful when you're gutting a deer. Hit that stink bag." Yeah.
Well, I know the stomach too.
It's all by East Tennessee hunters. They'll know what's up.
It's because my dad, I haven't cut open a deer, so he was like, I don't want you to do this because if you cut the stomach, it's going to smell and things are going to be bad.
It's like it's a bag full of stink, huh?
Yeah, stink bag.
Okay.
It's something with the butthole too. It's like you got to go all the way down and clear like everything out. So you cut like from below the chest down to the old butthole, and then just take everything out, and then you hang it up so the blood can drip out. But we did that, and then he went to the Upper Peninsula to go hunt more. And it was like, I'm 15 to go to school. I was like, I don't know how to clean a deer. And he's like, put some bags of ice in it, it'll be fine.
Inside the deer?
Yeah, like put it in his chest cavity.
Okay.
Just kind of tape him in there. And then by the time he got back, most of the deer was like no good. I was like, so really, I was like, well, I'm not going to go hunting again. I got nothing out of this.
Yeah.
We had to stay longer. I thought we were done. And then the prize went to waste. And you still don't love me.
Man, hunting does sound good. Yeah, I never was a big hunter or anything like that either. I shot at a rabbit, missed it, missed it.
Were you hunting for rabbits, or were you just trying to shoot
I was
something?
out there. Okay. I was out there walking around hunting for them, and rabbit got away. My gun jammed, and I went home. I was about 14. Nobody went with me. Yeah. Nobody cared that I had a gun with me either. So
yeah, I never done much hunting. I killed a squirrel one time and killed a mole with a knife.
Yeah,
mole with a knife.
Yeah, you were hunting for it though,
through
right?
the ground.
Yeah,
that's so dope.
It's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, I sort of the dogs sort of dug it up or whatever, and I'm trying to remember. I got the dog away from it somehow, and it was there, and so I wasn't like, I think might be a mole right there, and then stuck it to the ground.
That's what I thought you did.
No, it was nothing.
Listening to it, put your ear up to the ear. There's a trail. Got it.
Yeah, it wasn't anything that cool. Now I've always thought, how you'll see those like mole hills where the ground is raised. I've always thought like the most awesome thing that could ever happen would be if you happen to have a gun on you at the time, and you just see one of those things just moving across the ground, and then actually shoot it, at the beginning.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah, it would. Those things are annoying, man. They tear up the ground.
Yeah, that's a reason why I like this big city living now. The only thing I got to worry about now is pit bulls
and nails.
And nails.
Nails in the street.
Nails in the street. Nails in the street, and just other people a couple blocks away from me shooting each other. So that's, it's easy living.
Over drugs, no doubt.
Oh yeah, man. There's a couple streets down from me that I call Little Afghanistan because it's just a constant war zone down there. It's just my cat has gotten used to like crawling on her belly when she hears gunshots. Your
cat's belly's so big. Anyway.
I know, it's basically her just going to sleep. She gets out of the little cat tree and just lays down on the floor and goes to sleep.
I'm scared.
Yeah. At one time, the street that I live on right now, they wouldn't deliver. The only place that would deliver pizza was Pizza Hut. And I'm not a huge fan of Pizza Hut. Nothing's wrong. Should I even be saying that?
No, you don't.
I can say that.
Yeah, you can say you're not a huge fan of Pizza Hut.
Okay, good. I just make sure I don't put any product in.
Oh no, it doesn't matter. You can talk about whatever. It doesn't matter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So anything.
The truth about Pizza Hut. How do you really
the
feel?
truth about I'm a Pizza Hut truther. The toppings aren't as fresh. It isn't 100% grated cheese.
Check out his documentary, Loose Pepperoni.
But Pizza Hut was the only place that would come there, even though there was pizza joints closer, but Pizza Hut would come there, and they'd always send like the obvious ex-gang member to like deliver the pizza.
Yeah, like all the neck tattoos.
Oh yeah, teardrops and stuff.
Yeah,
it was terrifying.
Now, was it the hollowed in? Was it like the solid ones or the hollow ones? Teardrops.
I can't remember. One time it was a woman with a bunch of face tattoos.
Yeah, supposedly,
and that's once again, to see a woman that obviously could get through a gang that I know I couldn't. I was like, I'm very intimidated by this. To give me a cold Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah. So supposedly the teardrop. This is what I was told, at least, that the solid ones mean they killed somebody, and then the ones that are like it's just like the outline of it, it means they lost somebody.
Oh, that's. I would get so confused.
That would, yeah.
I'd be like, I lost 3 people. Like my mom and my dad and my granny died, and everybody, I get them filled in, and everybody's like, oh my God, they killed 3 people.
Yeah.
I'll never get a job this way. With this face tattoo. Guess I'll have to go to Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
How come everybody thought Mike Tyson was a jackass for getting his face tattoo, but then everyone was like, Lil Wayne's cool. He's got all of those tattoos. Wait, it became like a thing. There's like, I'm going to get tattoos on my face now.
It's not associated with the gang lifestyle. So.
I guess so.
I guess because he never bit anybody's ear off, or he never was a champion, or
he's a smart guy.
I guess so.
I think he's got the pigeons now. That's
the lollipop.
Yeah.
Wait, are we talking about Tyson? Or?
Yeah, I was talking about Mike Tyson.
Okay, both.
Lil Wayne, I'm not going to say is smart or dumb. I don't know.
He's done pretty well.
Yeah, he's done fine.
He's done so well that he can get face tattoos,
and not be called an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's probably still called an idiot by some people.
Somebody's calling him an idiot.
Probably
Big Wayne's calling him
possibly even people that listen to this show.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, most people are like, what are these guys talking about now?
The last time I saw Mike Tyson, he was on a hoverboard.
Like, I saw
that. Yeah.
Oh,
so hard.
It hurt me. Like it was on one of the Vine things, so it just kept happening.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, ow.
Yeah.
How far are they falling?
Yeah, speaking of vines, I told you guys about that. Dad being on that. The Uzi on the bicycle.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny.
The World Star Hip Hop one we saw, too.
I frequent World Star. I'm a World Star fan. That's where I go every morning when I wake up. It's to World Star.
Something tells me the viewers of this place may not know what World Star Hip Hop is, in case you want to clue
WorldStarHipHop.com. They put John's dad on it. Just go check it out. There's tons of other. There's booties bouncing up and down.
A lot of young kids fighting.
Yeah. Fight comps, which kind of gets sad. But then there's cool stuff, too. People give good speeches. And you can watch basketball highlights, and it's like, it just encompasses every aspect of life that happens in this country all on one website.
Let's make America great again with World Star Hip Hop.
World Star, baby. You can. There's people that they have police encounters on there. People give you advice on how to
Get through
roadblocks and unwarranted searches and all that sort of stuff. It's a great website.
Those are weird, man. You ever been through one of those, like out west or
a roadblock
or somewhere?
I drove out to California last year, and I was coming through Texas, and I was going into Phoenix, and I changed my whole route just because I didn't want to deal with checkpoints. So I ended up I stopped going through Texas and jumped up and went through New Mexico, and then cut over into Arizona just because I didn't want to deal with. I just didn't want to deal with it, man.
Yeah, it's got nothing to hide. It makes you feel very violated.
Yeah, that too. And it's like, I don't want to be waiting in a line, and if it's late at night, like I just don't need to deal with any of it.
And it's really weird. I don't know how it's constitutional at all, because you got these agents, and they even have drug dogs and stuff, and they can bring around your car without any kind of warrant. They have all these cameras so like going one way, you have the agents where they'll stop you, and for the most part, because I don't look like I'm coming across the border or anything.
Yeah,
they just kind of look at you and go, all right, and then you keep going. But then if you're going the other way, they don't stop you, but they have all these cameras set up, so they're taking your picture and stuff. So I don't know what and there's like a bunch of them, like 10 different cameras all set up on the road, and then all these lights and stuff. So at night they can flash pictures at you. So I don't know what they're doing, if they're taking pictures of people going across, or like they see you go the one way and they're like, oh, this is a guy we're looking for. Let's get him if he comes back. And then I don't know how it works, but it doesn't seem right, whatever it is.
Yeah, the only thing I've ever been are like sobriety checkpoints and stuff like that. That's mostly it. And it's usually, exactly where they're going to be. Mainly because of the internet and stuff like that, or if you grew up in a certain area, where they always put the sobriety checkpoint. It's always on a major holiday where there's going to be alcohol involved.
Yeah,
and you just take a cab, or you just go to a house party or something, and just avoid all that stuff if you're going to go out and have a good time.
Yeah,
but I didn't know that they did stuff like that. That almost sounds, you said, unconstitutional. That doesn't sound very legal at all.
And you can have them. I think it's 100 miles within the border of Mexico, so not even really that close.
That's true. Yeah,
that's like real far. Like I don't know. It just seems like that's like a good.
That's like from here to Jackson or something.
Yeah. Like it's a haul. It's like, well, you might have got across the border, and it's like, well, then you should reward me for doing such hard work. We made 100 miles across, and you guys didn't catch me yet
on foot.
Yeah.
I love the videos where I think Adam Kokesh, who was on this show at one point, actually has some videos of like pulling up to those and like not talking to them, just being a complete, or being very rude to them.
Yeah.
And they almost deserve it in a way. It's like, I'm not anti-police in general, but I'm anti anything that I feel like where you're being treated like a criminal when you haven't even been convicted of a crime.
Preemptive detention sort of thing, where it's like, we'll do it before you commit it because you might commit a crime.
Right. Yeah. Sobriety checkpoint's the same way. Like, obviously, drinking and driving is really dangerous, and it's a bad thing, but it's not so bad where we can just give up all of our rights and you get to just, check people out for no reason,
And I still believe there's so many ways around drinking and driving and a lot of problems like that. They could, like, America, I believe, needs better transit. Needs, like, in New York City, I realize, they thrive on it, and that's a necessity there.
Yeah.
But even in a city that's growing like Nashville, we need something like that. And if not, like in LA and stuff, there's also, like, they don't really have that much public or mass transit. So DUIs are dropped out left and right. And then they keep on lowering the level or whatever, your alcohol, the BAC or whatever that you can have, to where you basically, I think in this state, a guy my size can have a beer and a half and basically get a DUI there. And I'm not saying that, like, we should drink and drive or anything like that, but why make it so difficult? Just like the cigarettes thing, why make it so difficult to do it if you're going to keep it legal? It just makes no sense to me. There's something else that can be done. I feel like there's somebody smarter that should be saying this and doing something about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I know. It's annoying when, like, it seems like the government and politicians, like, solution to everything is always just to make it scarier to screw up.
Or fine you. Or take away your money. It's just like, well, you're going to constantly keep me broke. And now, because I may have an alcohol problem.
Right.
So what am I going to do once I'm, to the bottom of my, or like at my last thread here? Probably going to go out and get drunk or do worse. I can't afford liquor anymore, but I can afford a crack rock, something like that.
Yeah, it's such a vicious cycle. It's something that, that's always bothered me. Like, it's so easy to get caught up in the system. Like, let's say, I don't know, you get a speeding ticket or something and you can't pay it, because you're having a hard time, whatever, single mom or something like that. And then you can't pay it. Well, then they suspend your license at some point. Well, you got to drive. That's always ridiculous. They suspend someone's license. So, they're supposed to quit their job, not work, and because
we got to find a way.
Yeah, like in Tennessee, at least it was like this for a while. Because one time I got pulled over. I didn't have my insurance card, but I had insurance. Luckily, I just had to go to court and show them that I did. But in Tennessee, if you get caught with driving without insurance, they take your license for a year. All right, so that means that you would have to just stop working for a year, basically, or whatever. What if you live out in the country? You don't have anybody to give you a ride.
I got in trouble. I may have been caught upwards of 3 times without insurance driving because I was like, I can't believe you're going to force me to have insurance. I'm a big law-abiding citizen now. About the 3rd time, and my license got suspended and all that. Yeah. One of the times, I think it was the 2nd time, I paid a ton of fines, man. Just fine after fine. Like, it seemed about every 3-4 months, I would get a different letter in the mail that said, you owe this department $50. You owe this department $100, where I just went, I don't even know if I'm paying the government anymore. This might be a scam at this point.
Yeah.
And I guess I forgot to pay one of them, or I just didn't get the mail or something like that. I'm not real sure. So I was going to go hang out with a girl one night and got caught speeding, and I went, don't have insurance anymore again.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll probably get in trouble for that, and then speeding, and now they'll just let me go. And they were like, no, your license is invalid. All along, they let me renew my license the last time during this invalid point. Took my money. I got in trouble again. It took a lot of money to get out of that one because I was like a 3rd-time offender.
Yeah,
all this stuff, and that's my fault.
Yeah.
That is absolutely my fault. But they made it so hard for me to get insurance after that and to get back on the right track, where I was just like, this is just a money grab. I know for at least a year after that, I still got stuff in the mail. I had my license renewed when I was 31, so you have to get it done here in Tennessee, I think every 5 years. So I just got it renewed while it was I got it renewed to be invalid. And then I had to get it redone again. I think I got it done 4 times in 1 year, just because every time I get it renewed, pay that money, I would get another letter in the mail that said it was invalid again, pay this fine, and go back to the DMV. All different DMVs, by the way, too, which was very strange.
Yeah, that makes it rough.
So thanks, Tennessee government.
Yeah.
You got a lot of money out of me. Thanks for not fixing that pothole on Douglas Avenue where I live.
Yeah. Adds insult to injury.
Yeah, exactly. As my car bottoms out.
Yeah.
Thank God I have insurance now.
Speaking of potholes, man, every time it snows, it's just like where they plow the roads,
Do you guys remember, I guess it was like an internet thing, a couple years ago, the solar panel roads?
Nope.
You remember those? They were putting down, a company in, let's say, Wisconsin or somewhere, maybe Minnesota, was putting down these solar panel roads, or these solar panel thingies. And
stuff to heat the road?
It would heat the road. It would also light up. So, like, it'd light up the lines. It would even have, like, caution things that came out, say if there was an accident up the road. Oh. They had it all programmed in, and it was made out of, like, 100% recycled material, and it was all this great thing. It was a really, really neat thing, and it used no energy. So, or the energy, they had extra energy from it, or at least the trial showed that they could do street lights and all that stuff off of it,
It's probably real expensive, though.
I mean, it couldn't be any worse than, like you said, every time it snowed, the whole interstate system here just crumbles.
Just to have like that fleet of snow plows and all that, and just
exactly. I'm not trying to put any state worker out of a job or anything, but come on.
Yeah, really. Well,
come on.
That's another thing, man, that holds back progress a lot of times. Like, well, look how many people are employed by this thing,
True.
Like with the drug war is a great example that employs so many people, and it's like a giant machine. And people are like, well, like jobs is such a big hot button issue. It's like, give us jobs or don't take away jobs, and it's like, well, it's like, okay, let's just keep doing something the wrong way just because these people aren't willing to adapt. I mean, that's just life. That's how it happens. Like there was a time when people who made wagons got put out of business when cars came around. I mean, it's just
forward progress. It just has to be that way.
Exactly.
You could take all those people that are on the war against drugs, and then whenever they legalize all the marijuana, like I think they will one day by the time I get too old to ever enjoy it. And whenever that happens, they'll just let those people just like work in the weed factories. Sure.
Yeah, just slaving away.
Yeah.
I don't think you
Factory farming. Weed.
can make that double cross where it's like, I don't like anybody who smokes weed. Now it's like, well, since I can make some money, I guess I'm okay with it. It's like,
I don't know, man. Money speaks.
Yeah, no, that's the point John was making.
Yeah.
That's the exact point. It's the same thing with even like the prison system. I've heard, and this is just something I've heard or read somewhere on the internet, that it's like with the drug war, it's like that fuels most of the prison population. So it's like if you take all those people out, prisons are going to go bankrupt. And then they go, well, what do? We spend all this money to build this. As far as the state goes, we spent all this money to build this facility. Now we don't have anybody to put in it.
Turn them to luxury hotels or something.
It is. It's in like a little oasis. You're way off. It's secluded.
Yeah, just remodel it.
Just put a Mickey D's and a Shoney's in there.
It's already a gated community, so to speak. So, some luxury condos.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like this.
Take all the bars out, melt them down, make more guns.
Getting some solutions. This is all working out. We're solving it.
Yeah. It's got to move things around. That's all it is.
It's exactly. It's you can live in the same house, just change up the furniture every once in a while.
Right.
You could make it a big old school. You could
There you go.
Don't do that. I don't want to.
I like the condos.
Yeah.
Condos, a nice hotel.
Those condos you can't afford.
Yeah, those condos I'll never be able to afford.
Yeah.
Not until the housing market busts again. And then I'll be like, cool, projects. I'll just
Prison condos.
I saw some YouTube video. It was one of those ones where it's like, lists off a bunch of things. It was like weirdest houses or something like that. And just one guy who had a grounded like airline, or like what the Boeing's 77 or whatever the famous, the typical airline.
747.
747. Yeah, that's it. And there was one that was just grounded that didn't fly or anything, but he just made a house out of it. It's just like out in the woods, and he's like living in this plane.
I'll see it right there. That's what I want. I've always wanted an underground house just to make myself sound kooky.
Missile silo.
Dude.
Yeah.
I watched a whole documentary on that. And it showed, did you see that one?
Yeah,
It showed
I've
the
seen a
different
couple.
companies. Oh man, if I ever had
people
the
making
money.
a killing off of these things.
Yeah.
$1 million condos. They're putting in like missile silos, like underground bunkers.
Doomsday thingies.
Yeah.
Exact doomsday thingies.
That's going to be my new show. Doomsday thingies.
And there's people like have these plans to make like these real deep ones. They have like just different floors of like everything, where one floor is going to be like a gym and the other floor is going to be like a kitchen and stuff like that. And it's like, I think I saw it on Jesse Ventura's show when he was doing that conspiracy theory thing. I think they had an episode about that. They also went to Cheyenne Mountain. It was all underground bunker stuff. Denver Airport came into play in that episode too. Great show.
It really is.
I miss that guy. He was so entertaining.
Have you seen the thing where he got into the argument with Jim Norton on
Opie and Anthony back in the day? Yeah, and he just was like, because Jim Norton is a real small, just looks like a shaved puppy kind of guy. And
He does.
it's
He
like,
kind of looks like a hairless cat.
Jesse Ventura is just a monster, just stew and just rocking back and forth.
Yeah.
They're just cursing at each other.
He was a Navy SEAL, right?
A Navy SEAL, a fighter, a governor.
Yeah. And
The body.
He's actually a good actor too. He was funny.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite scenes is from the movie Predator.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say. I can't think of a different movie he was in besides Predator.
Well, Predator and the Running Man. Did you ever see the Running Man?
Yeah,
He was
that's
he was one of the, I forgot, the Stalkers or whatever.
Yeah.
That's a goofy movie, but great though. I love it.
It's wonderful.
But my favorite line though in Predator, they're like, there's some machine gun nest above them or something, and the other guy, there's two of them, and the other guy's like, man, you're bleeding. He's like, I ain't got time to bleed.
Beautiful line.
He's like got a big chaw of tobacco in his mouth when he says it,
I think that was I think he named his first book after that too. I think his first book was I Ain't Got Time to Bleed.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty hardcore.
And they elected him as the governor.
Yeah, and then he came out. I think that might have been right as he was elected. Then he came out with another book after he was elected, and I can't remember the name of it. Don't Start the Revolution Without Me. Another great book. The book was so fun.
Never read that one, but I heard about it. Yeah.
Talking about the getting called into the basement of the mayor's house in Minnesota, wherever he was at, or the governor's house, and he said he was surrounded by like CIA agents, but none of them would tell him his name or anything. They just wanted to know how he won the election because he ran as an independent.
Yeah.
So nobody really expected him to win, and they were just trying to figure out like why.
Well, I mean,
how'd you win?
Considering his last job was him wearing a feather boa.
Well,
I'm just saying that it's hard to believe that somebody's going to run your state after they're like, let me hang up this feather boa, put on this nice tie. I wish I could remember. I wish I was old enough and or cared as much to know what platforms he ran on. I'm sure we could just find it through the internet.
Yeah.
But I would love to see the excitement in the air of people being like, you know what? I've had enough. I'm going to vote for Jesse Ventura. That's got to be revolutionary, man. That's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah.
Just to see everybody unite behind Jesse Ventura, for God's sake. It's crazy.
He wore like a Jimi Hendrix shirt and a rawhide jacket at his inauguration. I love it.
That's awesome.
Man. It's so baller. It's such a baller thing to do with a bandana. Dude looked like such a badass.
Because he's a Vietnam guy, right? I think he was a Navy SEAL in Vietnam.
Yeah,
He's like
Oh, wow. I didn't know he goes back to Vietnam.
Yeah, I think he was part of one of the first units, like the Navy SEAls, I think.
Scuba SEALs. Like he was like an underwater demolition guy.
Before they even called them the SEAls, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Like you weren't supposed to know about them.
Well, SEALs is an acronym, right? SEALS.
Yeah, I forget what it stands for.
We could just make up something.
Good, yeah.
If this was more geared towards comedy, that's all we would have done for 2 hours. SEAL stands for sexy, egotistical. No.
You had a good start there.
Just bail
Yeah, I know.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't want to offend anybody that might be listening. It was like, my son's a SEAL, and I'm like, stupid, idiot.
It's not that you couldn't think of anything else. You just wanted to offend anybody.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, I can think of tons of stuff.
He's a gentleman.
Yeah, that's it. Not a scholar at all, but a gentleman. I'll tell you that.
I know that I followed that whole deal with him and Chris Kyle for a little while.
Yeah,
which is interesting. That's I have to be careful what I say about that on this show, probably. But that's a hot button thing because there's people who just love Chris Kyle, like he is an American hero.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then the same thing for Jesse Ventura. I haven't read Chris Kyle's book, but apparently there's some pretty weird things in there. And the thing is, like, yeah, it sounds bad that Jesse Ventura is suing, the widow of a Navy SEAL, but he's also a Navy SEAL. And it was defamation of character. Are you familiar with the story?
No. Okay,
well, Chris Kyle claimed that he punched him out at some kind of SEAL gathering,
some SEAL bar in like California or something like that.
Yeah, which apparently
he told it on Opie and Anthony too. So because it was in the book, so then it became like a big thing.
Yeah,
so he punched out Jesse Ventura.
And the thing is, he took it to court, sued him, and it was like unanimous. I mean, he got won that case like with flying colors. So that alone has to tell you, well, at least there had to have been some fishy things about it.
Yeah.
And he catches flack for suing the widow of Chris Kyle, but the lawsuit was filed when Chris Kyle was still alive.
Oh, yeah.
He was suing Chris Kyle, and then Chris Kyle died. So then it was like the baggage came on to his wife.
So he
and
didn't
stuff
even
like that.
So he didn't let up. He was just like, somebody's going to pay me for this defamation of character or whatever. And
still, the money is from that book probably or whatever other stuff. And in that book, he's saying something that is, was decided in court not true and that hurts Jesse Ventura. Because I think he even lost some contracts or something. Like it actually did legitimately hurt his career. So, I mean, I don't know. It sounds legit to me, but I wasn't
he lost
there.
public appearances and stuff like that. Like he lost money. Because of it, he started canceling, and now he lives in Mexico. I think it is he has a good podcast called Off the Grid. I've seen a couple episodes.
He lives not in New Mexico.
In Mexico,
original,
original OG Mexico,
OG Mexico.
Solar panels and stuff. Like does like the whole nine. But
cool.
That sounds about right. If he ended up somewhere else, I'd think he was a fraud. But I like how he's keeping it real.
Yeah.
I kind of do enjoy that.
He's an interesting guy, fascinating.
Yeah,
the
I've
whole
heard
Chris Kyle thing I don't know about, but I know some stuff. I
know very little. I mean, I've watched the movie American Sniper, and I remember whenever Chris Kyle. I remember watching that on 60 Minutes. A little bit of whenever Chris Kyle got shot by that guy. Or killed by that guy. Yeah. And I thought it was very noble that Chris Kyle went to war, did what he had to do, came back, and suffered like many vets do. And so he was like he put his life's work into like helping other people cope with it. I thought that was an extremely noble thing.
Yeah, definitely.
And I hated that it had to end with him trying to help somebody and that person murdering him. That's I hate that it ended that way.
Yeah.
I don't have much more to say.
I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's how it ends. I'm sorry. That's
yeah.
I feel like I put a damper on everything.
No,
I can get into some more conspiracy theories if you want to.
But yeah,
I heard the Earth's flat nowadays.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's flat. I don't know. I think it's more shaped like a bowl.
Yeah. Concave.
Yeah.
That's how the water stays in it.
Yeah, there you go.
Like I said, I've been to public school in East Tennessee. Thank you.
You saved us from that dark hole. Way to go.
Yeah, it did.
You're welcome.
That's how the water stays in it.
I feel like I should bring that globe over and just
It should, yeah.
push it in.
Poach it.
Yeah, then we pour some water in and be like,
Yep, see? Science.
yeah, exactly. Call Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the flat earth thing is funny.
Yeah. I still have yet to watch the documentary about it.
Documentary, there's like 1,000 of them out
Oh, there are 1,000?
Yeah.
Now, there was one main one that everybody was talking about, and it was by a rapper.
That already adds so much credibility to it.
Yeah, a rapper that I've never heard of. And he got up there and it was just basically spouted out some sort of fact. And for people that can't see me do that, that was air quotations, fact, about why the Earth's flat, and then just kind of backs away like mic drop.
Oh, yeah.
Like a very rapper thing to be like, see? And everybody was like, I guess we need to believe it. Tequila believed it.
Tequila.
I feel like I said that like anybody's dad would say it. Tequila. But I followed her on Twitter for a month or two because she was just spouting crazy.
I think she's just trolling people.
She seems very smart about the way
she's mentioned it before that she's like anything you read on Twitter is not. It's not real.
No.
So
She would put stuff about the flat Earth theory and her reasoning behind it, and then she would put, y'all are just mad because I'm too sexy and smart. And, just something like that would make people
it might be just a show, like you said.
Yeah,
it was just a show.
It was super fun.
Said she got microchipped, too. It was like
said she got microchipped.
Yeah, she was killed and then is a clone of herself, and then she has a microchip behind her right eye or something like that.
Well, that's way more interesting than a flat Earth. Even if the Earth we find out is flat, I think that's more interesting.
That's how she knows all the things, because she's a clone.
What if we're all flat, but the Earth is round?
We're all 2D, but the Earth is 3D. Once again, I still take the microchip.
Yeah, it's still more interesting.
If we're all like, if I died a million times and they just go putting me back together for whatever reason with a microchip, that's a waste of government money, first and foremost. Second of all, real super cool.
Yeah.
There's not a third.
Okay. It's like the Paul McCartney thing,
Oh, yeah. He died in a car wreck, right?
Fake Paul McCartney.
Yeah. Paul McCartney number 2, ladies and gentlemen.
Which I think there's a really good chance that, because there is some stuff that the Beatles definitely like put out there, like if you look at their album covers, to talk about it. But I mean, there's a good chance that they were just having fun with the rumors.
I think so.
I
feel like that's what most people do.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably what it was.
It's like Jay-Z with the Illuminati. I think it just became a thing where he's like,
It's
this
an
is a
ego
diamond.
thing.
And then people were like, no, you're in the Illuminati. And he's like, well, I guess I will be if y'all want me to be.
Yeah. It's like an ego thing. Think about it. If you're like super famous, that people would believe you if you said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'd
In
be
a
like-
heartbeat.
Yeah. I mean, you could like get out of stuff, be like, man, I got this meeting I can't tell you about. It's like, you just,
I read about you having meetings on the internet. It must be real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go see him.
Yeah, Bohemian Grove. I got to. I mean, never mind. I mean, I got to go camping with my family. Whatever.
I'll tell you what, though, I went and toured the Biltmore. You guys ever been through that?
The Biltmore Estate?
Yeah.
In Asheville, North Carolina?
Yeah, Asheville.
No, but I've been outside of it. I don't know why I made you go through all that. Sorry.
Hey, what kind of car did you drive there?
When did you go exactly? Man, my computer chip keeps itching.
Yeah. But it's funny. They've got a a room. They have a basement. I mean, the house is just unbelievable. Like I don't even think Trump could afford a house like that.
Yeah, you can see it in the distance. It's so big.
Oh my
it's
God.
crazy.
And it's not just big. It's like no expense was spared at every square inch. Like they have a room where the entire walls are just covered with this, not just any leather, but like this exotic Spanish leather, an entire room. That's like the wallpaper, just insane stuff. But they have this basement, this massive basement. And it was pretty empty, and I couldn't help but think, like, this is where they had all the secret meetings, where they wore the robes and stuff,
That makes me want to go now. Before, I just thought it was...
It's cool, man. Everybody should see that, just to be like, wow. Like, just because it really puts you hear about people being really wealthy, but you can't quite wrap your head around it almost until you see actual wealth. And especially think about the time period. That was at a time when nobody had electricity, nobody even had bathrooms or running water, and they had a swimming pool in their house and like a bowling alley and like 13 bathrooms. And I mean, it's mind blowing when you walk through there, and you don't even get to see but a small percentage of the house, and even that is crazy.
If you want to get on the internet and see what the outside of the Biltmore estate looks like, just get on YouTube and put "lady stomping on grapes fell." That's outside the Biltmore house. The lady that's stomping on the grapes, and she hurts herself. So
I gotta look
bad.
at that. I haven't seen that.
You never saw?
Man, it's classic.
Where she can't breathe and
Classic and old.
No.
I hope that lady's okay, because I laughed so many times before. Like it's so funny at first. I don't know what human reaction, what's going on in the human brain to cause us to laugh at somebody getting hurt that bad. I mean, she's hurt. And it sounds real funny, to be honest. She's just all wheezing noises. She probably can't breathe anymore out her nose or something, And it took me several times of watching it before like human empathy kicked in. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Before I just went, oh dear, I hope that lady's okay. It's like 2 years later. I was like, uh-oh, that lady may be dead.
I'm sure she's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was feeling real bad.
Probably back to work the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just came back in there with like a full, like the bolts in her neck and stuff, the headgear on.
Yeah.
The bolts on her neck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking about that like ring or that.
Yeah, the
thing.
ring thing where
The
you break
halo.
your neck. Halo, yeah.
The
that's
halo.
what it
Yeah.
is.
A couple bottles of wine from those fresh grapes she stomped up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so bad.
I feel like it's kind of natural almost to laugh sometimes at somebody else's pain. It's kind of like you ever get so mad that you laugh just because you're just like,
Oh, yeah.
You got to.
yeah. It's kind of, I feel like it's a similar response like that. It's kind of like you have so much empathy and you can relate to it so much that it does make you laugh. You're just like, oh man, it would suck to be that person. And then you just kind of laugh. Because you don't really know them. You're not like, oh, I feel sorry for that. If it was like a friend of yours or something, then it'd be different. But
I'm never happy someone gets hurt.
No.
No.
But I'm not gonna.
Unless I'm looking at fail compilations online and I go specifically to see people.
Yeah,
get hurt.
you know what's gonna happen, but it's not like you're like, good, that guy got what was coming to him.
Yeah. And I don't like the ones where it's somebody gets their leg broke or something.
Oh, yeah.
Those are just rough.
You can always watch, and if you're feeling bad about yourself, it shows like,
It's like, it's something that happens.
yeah.
I saw the one guy try to do the Michael Jackson thing where he leans back or whatever and just snaps his leg.
Oh, man.
And you just didn't see it. I was like, I'll just watch this fat guy fall backwards trying to do the Michael Jackson standing on his toes thing. And then his leg broke. So I watched it twice just to make sure that's what I saw.
And the thing to do is you watch a bunch of fail compilations, and then after that, when you get one out on those, then you got to watch the near misses.
Oh, yeah. That's
Cleanse yourself.
Right.
Let's just go ahead and make myself feel better.
Yeah, sometimes it works out. That's right.
It's like burning the sage. It's like, I got all that out. Thank God.
It's puppies snuggling with babies for the next 3 hours now.
Yeah.
There was a
Charlie
internet-
bit my finger.
Yeah. Had to watch after I watched some bad stuff on the internet. Had to watch what?
Just bad stuff.
Well, not like whenever you watch like the kids fight and all that stuff on World Star, after a little while you just don't feel good.
Yeah.
You're just like, why did I do that?
It's like if you've ever been in a place where you end up watching Jerry Springer or something. Just 'cause it's like the only thing on.
Yeah, and you just get caught up in it for a little while before you have to just pull yourself out and go, oh, wait.
Like that always.
I can't like this.
That always happens to me. I don't know if that's even on anymore, but that would always happen. Like shows like that, like Maury or whatever. It's like you go to eat somewhere and during the middle of the day and they've got a TV on and that's on, you kind of end up watching it and you're just like, no, I can't.
Because there's especially with Maury, there's always a guy that does not want to raise a child. And they bring him on TV and say, you have to at least pay for this child. And he is just like, I am not cool with this. And imagine to be that kid one day, be like, what was my daddy like, Mama? Well, let me show you a 30-second clip. And it was him going, boo. That's how he found out you were his son. But I watched something to cleanse myself from the Maury and Jerry Springer stuff. And it was this is so dumb. It was they found a bear cub and a tiger cub and a lion cub pinned up in a basement in Miami. Like, I guess like a big time drug dealer, mafia guy or something had it, right? And they just, sometimes people just get exotic pets just because they can. So they kept them in this dark basement and they were malnourished. And like the bear had like a big chain on his neck and he'd outgrown it, grown into his skin, had to operate him. And they kept them together for some odd reason because they just huddled together so much whenever they were cubs or what would they call them? I guess they call them cubs.
So yeah,
they're cubs and stuff. And it was something like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, and they still will like inseparable, and they still like live on this little sanctuary. And it's just like a big old. It's like something out of Jungle Book or something. There's like a tiger, and obviously big tiger that comes over and hugs on a bear every day, and then a lion walks up and like licks him, and I was like, this is great. This makes me feel much better. Turn off internet. And then I turned on the local news and just felt awful again.
Yeah.
Inside Edition.
Inside Edition helps out. That's a good palate cleanser too. Joe hates it. Joe hates it. I watch Inside Edition.
Hang out with him last week, and he's like, we're going to watch the news. And it's like, I thought the news started at 5, and he's turning on Inside Edition so we can watch half an hour of garbage.
It's not even a real half an hour.
It was so long. Whatever it was.
15 minutes at most.
Not the news, and you lied and you fooled me.
Well, I did think the news was coming on.
All right.
After Inside Edition. Which it did. Like it does every day.
I'll tell you a YouTube channel to watch if you want to scare yourself. There's a channel. It's called Dark 5.
Yes.
Seen that one?
That's a great one.
And they'll always have like 5 creepiest places on earth, or like 10 scariest photos that unexplained or whatever.
Yeah, I have watched a couple of those.
One time, I remember late at night, I watched a bunch of those. And I was like, I gotta quit this. I gotta watch something else for a minute.
Is that the one that just has like music and just like text showing up so you read it and it's like
and pictures and stuff?
Yeah, real creepy.
Yep.
It is
Extremely creepy, real fun.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever fall down the rabbit hole that is the Slender Man stuff?
Yep.
I've seen some of that.
Ugh. And I didn't think it would bother me, so just in case though, I watched it during the daylight. So I watched the majority, and there's like 100 and some of them. It's ridiculous how many there are. And it got to the point where it was just like this creepy thing outside this little girl's bedroom or guy's bedroom or something, and I just had to stop. It was right after the news story came out that the 2 little girls beat that one girl half to death because she said.
I think they killed her.
Did they kill her?
Killed her to do it for the Slender Man or whatever.
Yeah,
that's creepy. Yeah,
it's extremely creepy, and I love horror movies and I love that whole genre and stuff because I can get scared and then know it's not real and just kind of go on about my day. To where it's just I know it's pure entertainment at that point. But whenever it's stuff like that like it's tricking kids into thinking stuff, it's weird, man. Yeah. So go ahead and fall down that rabbit hole if you just want to waste the day and feel uneasy. Consider that's what we're talking about.
Yeah. So you watch cartoons after horror movies, but for the real stuff, guns.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You just clutch your rifle, man, and you feel good.
Yeah, I do have a couple of handguns at the house. Rifles.
Safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, just come try to get in here, Slender Man.
Yeah.
And there's probably a lot of slender men on my block that want to break into my house. So
probably, yeah, that's probably true.
One of them's my roommate.
Yeah,
he's not slender.
No, he's a little heavy.
Putting away those Cinnabuns.
Yeah. Oh yeah! Every time you come over to the house, we make Cinnabuns.
Spaghetti and cinnamon buns.
Oh man, make some killer spaghetti at the house. Casa de Lewis.
You ever had chili spaghetti? That's good. I like that. Really? That's pretty good. It's like an Ohio thing. And you just take chili, and that's your sauce.
Yeah,
like meat.
Oh,
like
okay.
Meat, chili.
Well, then in a way, I guess I have. Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Some beans.
Yeah, it's good.
Put some little peppers in there, a couple onions.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good for a change,
I like to do the thing called Mexican lasagna at the house. I'll take the enchilada kit from Old El Paso, and I'll preheat the oven, and I'll just, whatever onions, whatever stuff you want to put into like the hamburger meat or chicken or turkey or whatever you're making. And I'll take the tortillas and I'll butter up a casserole dish, and I'll put 2 or 3 down, right? Then I'll put the cooked meat on top of that. Yeah. Then I'll take the other tortillas and put them on top of it. Not rolled up, just lay them on top. Then I'll put the red sauce, the enchilada sauce or whatever up there. Then I'll put the spaghetti, or not spaghetti, cheese.
Yeah. Intense.
Yeah, I'm ready to eat now. Then I'll put the cheese on there and I'll bake it until it's brown. Oh, it's so good, man.
Oh, I bet that is good.
And it just kind of you can layer it like lasagna. I have in the past, but I always run out of tortillas.
Yeah.
So I just put one on top, one on the bottom.
Mexican food mixed with other types of food is always good. Like Tex-Mex is like one of the best. Oh my God. Like brisket quesadilla, one that's done really well. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite part about going out west is all the good food, man. Once you start getting out there, when it starts looking like the desert, start getting into Texas, it's just it just gets so much better. The Mexican food, I love it.
What's y'all's favorite type of barbecue? We must be getting real hungry. We went from guns, conspiracy theories, horror movies. Now it's like food. What kind of snacks do you guys like?
Yeah. Oh man. Well. Oh, is that a question we're supposed to answer?
Oh, you don't have to.
Is that a joke question?
You don't.
Real question or joke question?
Ended on the.
It could be a joke.
Ended on the high note.
Yeah, ended on the high note.
Barbecue.
Yeah. Just leave that on the comment section.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, we'll ask the audience.
Yeah.
What's everyone's favorite barbecue?
Yeah, and it could be barbecue place, style, animal,
sauce.
Yeah, anything barbecue related.
Potato chip.
It could be the next podcast we do.
Yeah,
anything barbecue related. Are you guys barbecue experts? Nope.
But we sure do like it.
Yep.
Yeah. We're gonna start with barbecue, end with barbecue. Just a lot of filler in between.
Yeah.
You guys like ribs? Yeah. So anyway, the other day I was shooting this gun.
Oh man. Well, I do appreciate you guys coming on. That was fun today. Earlier,
great.
Doing the machine gun show, and
thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll all work out, and once we get to editing it and stuff and all.
Oh
that.
yeah. I'm sure it will. And if not, it was real fun.
Yeah. Exact worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario, we had a great day.
Worst case scenario, you have to redo it.
Oh,
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
that's even better. You know what? I hope so. Yeah, just knock over the camera. Whoops.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. I think it's going to work out. I mean, keep it simple at first. It's going to be the first few episodes are going to be a little crude, and then like we talked about, it's going to hopefully get better. But I think people. I think there'll be something there for people to enjoy.
Yeah.
Hopefully, so
yeah, I look forward to it. I look forward to actually showing a lot of people this too. I have some friends that are big fans of Hickok 45 that I found just inadvertently because they were talking about like, man, I was going to get this one handgun and I don't know much about guns. So they just rattled off a bunch of numbers and letters and I just stared at them.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I go to this YouTube page called Hickok 45. You ever heard of it? I was like, yeah, I may have heard of it. I may know a little bit about it.
know a guy.
Yeah, I might know a guy.
Oh man, well thanks guys for coming on doing the podcast and everything.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, man. This is great.
Yeah. So Josh Lewis.
Yeah.
Look him up on YouTube, or do you have anything on YouTube?
I do have some stuff on YouTube. It's a little bit hard to find. I just haven't set up my channel right. So you can follow me at the Josh from TN. That's just TN at the end. Somebody thought it meant Tennessee. It does mean Tennessee, but somebody's like, I'll try to spell out Tennessee. And I was like, that's never mind.
Yeah.
But at the Josh from TN and joshlewiscomedy.com. You can find all that stuff on there. I think Instagram at the Josh from TN also. Mostly if you go at the Josh from TN, you're going to find me somehow.
Okay. Yeah, Joe Kelley, you got a website, Joe Kelley Comedy?
JoeKelleyComedy.com. It's Kelley. I got some stuff on YouTube too. You can find it youtube.com/utilize shrooms, which is also my Twitter and Instagram tag. You can cut that out if you need to.
That's okay.
It's
That's okay.
fine.
That's your actual Twitter. So.
Yeah. It's a good message for the kids. It's not all about me. It's not all about the Josh from TN. Sometimes it's about trying to promote a message to better maybe yourself, maybe your friends.
I think you just did that whenever you were in high school. You just got that name in high school.
No
Did
way,
you do
bro.
it real quick?
No.
I could have swore you told me that.
Took me till 25 to figure out that I enjoyed that sort of thing.
That sort of handle on the
Being
internet.
on Twitter is what I mean.
Yes,
I
of
didn't get on
course.
Twitter until 25.
Yeah. I'm still not on Twitter, so
You got to get out there, John.
Twitter's super fun, man.
yeah, I need to do that.
Well, it's not super fun. It's just okay fun.
Are you sure you're not? I feel like I found your account. I feel like
I think I do have an
Hickok
account.
45 or
I just
something on there.
now Dad's on there. There's a Hickok
Okay.
45.
I
Twitter.
might be tagging your dad stuff.
You might be.
This is utilized shrews guy.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Well, he doesn't ever get on the Twitter. It's just everything that he posts on the Hickok 45 Facebook. It just automatically goes on Twitter. So
Okay.
Oh, okay.
yeah, I need to at least set that up on mine. But
It's fun. It's like I find Twitter to be like a great thing for like practicing writing. It's like a good like just because you only got 140 characters, so it's like a good like premise joke sort of. Just get your brain going,
Especially for joke writing. And I like it more than Facebook, mainly because people can follow you, but you don't have to follow them back to be their friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you might have your crazy aunt that lives in South Alabama. She can follow you, but you don't have to follow her talking insane things, even though that is.
Well, it's kind of like if you have a public page on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, the public thing.
Yeah,
Public
which I've got.
thing. Yeah,
which I've got. That's what the Hickok 45 and Son page is public, and then the John Hickok one isn't.
Yeah,
and a lot of times I'll post the same thing on each one. I'm more likely to put comedy stuff on the John Hickok one and mostly gun stuff on the other one. But
that makes sense.
Yeah. You should switch those up.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Yeah,
Get the crossover.
yeah, that's right. I do sometimes. I'll share them back and forth, but. I think you can on like a regular Facebook page, like a personal one. You can only have 5,000 friends or something. There's a limit,
something like that.
Yeah,
I know it's limited. I'm not sure the number.
Yeah,
but that sounds about right.
Yeah, so that's part of the problem. Like, there's no big advantage of trying to grow that because it's like, well, it's going to cut off at some point.
I'm sure there's like people that become Twitter stars and Vine stars and Instagram stars that have
like
millions
the public,
of followers.
Yeah, but like on the public.
Oh yeah.
On that one, that's where you get like. There's people that have millions and millions of likes and stuff like that on Facebook. It's crazy.
If you could only get money for Facebook likes.
Well, you sort of indirectly do. If you have 1 million likes on Facebook, just announce that you're going to be somewhere, and a ton of people will show up. Or like write a book, and a certain percentage are going to buy it. So it's like it basically is. They might as well be giving you money.
What would be a good book if you just get likes on Facebook? Like, what would be a good title?
Yeah.
Like You, Like Me, the Josh Lewis story. Josh Lewis on how to Facebook.
Oh man,
I'll have to type that one up when I get to the house.
there you go. Next time you come back on, we'll announce it's for sale.
I'll just hold up that notebook.
7 pages.
Yeah.
7 pages of just all thumbs up.
Yeah, it won't stop any bullets.
Oh no, I got to work forward to that.
Yeah.
Can mop up tears pretty good though.
Yeah.
Catch him.
All right, we got to finally end this thing. We're running out of time out there.
Let's end it.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, guys, for coming on. Josh Lewis, Joe Kelley. Check them out. We'll do it again.